you know, photography and videos were never on my career path until we decided that we were so inspired by the nature programs that we were watching on television. We decided to buy video cameras and go make a nature film. And so we booked an Audubon tour uh, through the magazine Audubon. And so we went down to, I think it was Costa Rica, and we were like, wow, because we're avid bird watchers. And seeing tropical birds was a real plus. And when we got there, we never saw very many birds because the Audubon group was all, and you never talk in a forest because it scares everything away. And so we went on our own day trip, and we were standing in the forest, and all these birds were calling. And all of a sudden, this professor from LSU pops out of the foliage, and he said, "Was that a scarlet-throated ant gleaner?" And we didn't know what he was talking about. So he had a big Nagara recorder. And so he held up the microphone and he recorded this bird call. And all of a sudden he played it back, and the birds popped out of the foliage, sat on a branch, and sang the most beautiful duet as a mated pair. We were just, I mean, so astonished. And so turned out he was a professor at LSU. His name was Ted Parker, and he knew all the voice calls of all the tropical birds. And he became sort of our Pied Piper. And about a couple months later, he invited us to go on a trip and do photography and video for him in Brazil. And, you know, it's a long story, but eventually Neil and I went on in our spare time to shoot, to film nature videos, and they won Emmys on the Discovery Channel and PBS. We did a series for ABC on the tropical rainforest, and even went to New York to pick up our Emmy at the premiere in New York. I mean, who would have ever thought that was on our path? So I think that, you know, curiosity and passion is really where I think you just kind of have to follow your intuition, and who you just, the can't be a word in your vocabulary. When I got home and went into my studio, I asked myself, you know, what am I really passionate about? And what I was passionate about is all the really interesting people that I met that were doing field biology, you know, on monkeys and birds and parrots. And I just thought, wow, these are the people the world existed, and they are working tirelessly to learn about the natural world and bring it back to us, those of us who may never get a chance to go there. And so I was fortunate to be able to do that. And I thought, that's the story I want to tell. And so for me, this whole group of paintings that I did, of which there are about 20, they all have a main theme. And the theme is, how do humans connect to nature? In other words, where's the connection point? So in the painting, Trouble in Paradise, the whole idea there is we have a group, if the forest in fact is burning and you see that forest burning on the horizon, what do the animals do? I mean, how do they come together to save their environment? What do they do? And when I was there, we were able to actually film giant otters on lakes in the Amazon. And I mean, as I would watch them dive in the water and then come up and take a breath, it reminded me of the painting, The Silent Scream, by Edward Munch.
Mhm.
And when I was designing the composition of that painting, that was prevalent in my mind.
Yeah.
And it was a way, and so really and truly, the painting asks the viewer a question. What do animals do if there is a crisis? How do they come together? We know what people do, but what do the animals do? And the fact that it's all about communication. And so how do the otters communicate? And so when these otters were coming out of the water and taking that breath, it was almost as if they were trying to come together to figure out, hey, something's happening on the horizon. What can we do? How can we bring attention to this issue?